We need Friday theme music. Come on.
You were the head of creative.
Woo!
Feel free to write it.
Live. I just want to watch Jesse and Ari dance a little bit. From your ESG cigarette butt mulcher. Do we really need that? Why do we need that?
Who wrote that?
Ew.
It's a Business Pants Friday show here at October 20th Studios featuring all your favorites. Ari the Data Queen, Jesse the Money Whisperer, and Analyst Hole Matt Moscardi on today's weekly wrap-up. Shirtless CEOs. For real.
Yes.
I have evidence.
Ew.
I love it.
Fake Netflix promises, billionaire boy babies, and very manly opera conductors. Yeah.
I don't know what that is at all.
Are you
true.
already talking crap about one of my stories?
I can't help to.
In the opener.
I can't help. I was going to reach out to you, Ari, and tell you not to do it, but I was like,
respect.
it's good material for the show. Yeah, I'm going to crap on
It
these
hasn't.
stories.
It hasn't even been 2 minutes. I can see
He
it.
said live. That's what. That
Come
was all it
on.
took.
Yeah, Ari, the
You
Data
got past
Queen's
live.
here. Woo!
All right. Yeah. Why are we clapping for Ari?
You know what's great about Ari? Not only Ari herself, but the way
I don't like where this is going.
the way my studio is set up is that the window. I have a window where I can see the video feed from the Hartford, Connecticut studios. I only see Ari. Matt and Jesse are cut off. I just see Ari in a white sweater. I don't see anyone else.
You know what's funny about that?
It's like you're talking to me every week. This is
in our production setup,
Yeah.
in the studio setup, we have the monitor up, and we also can only see Ari
Great,
on our
perfect,
screen. We
perfect.
see you and Ari.
Ari
that's
looks
it.
happy, so I'm down with it.
That's because I got her a mocha this morning. That was all it took.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Had dessert for breakfast. It was
Are
great.
we ready for
Yeah,
story of the
baby.
week? Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, I tried to delete that. How did it come back?
I like that you let it go, though. You let it breathe.
Story of the week.
What you got?
This is a weird one. It's featuring four. I guess it's not that weird for us, but it really just features four egotistical CEOs, really, and then something at the end for us.
That is for us.
Mark. Well, I guess Mark Andreessen's not technically a CEO. Mark Andreessen is getting raked over the coals for calling social responsibility the enemy. So the big billionaire baby, Mark Andreessen. What venture fund is he at, Matt?
Andreessen Horowitz.
Oh, of course. Named it after himself. He came out with a Techno-Optimist manifesto this week. I mean, why do we even need this? Nobody knows. He has a section called The Enemy. I don't know if you haven't heard the show earlier this week. He has a section of his manifesto literally called The Enemy. And here's a passage from that section.
I love this.
Our present society, I'm not making any of this up. This is all verbatim.
This is a quote.
Our present society has been subjected to a mass demoralization campaign for 6 decades. That's the part that gets me the most because 6 decades correlates exactly with the start of the civil rights movement.
Also,
Yeah.
how old is he? Is he younger than 60?
Well, I think what he...
Yeah.
Since the day I was born.
The subtext here, Ari, is that he's
Okay.
mad
Yep.
at people of color and women for ruining his fun. I mean, that's the subtext.
He would never
you
say
got the
that.
wolf whistle.
He's got mommy
Got it.
issues, clearly. Like they all
He
do.
would-
Yeah.
No, he's got liberal elitist issues,
Angst.
and that just happens to be all women and people of color.
Let me just give you this passage. So, our present society has been subject to a mass demoralization campaign against technology and against life under varying names like
life.
existential risk, sustainability, ESG, sustainable development goals. That's the weird one. Social responsibility, stakeholder capitalism, precautionary principle,
I don't know what that is.
trust and safety, tech ethics, risk management, degrowth, and the limits of growth. So that's how we start off the enemy list. Anyway, that's the first story of the week. I think, Matt, you're going to cover him later, I'm guessing.
Wow. He took everyone, including the UN, with him. Got it.
Everybody. I
Everybody.
like that.
Anybody who cares.
It takes some balls to drop ethics in there as an enemy.
I'm surprised.
Ethics.
I'm surprised he didn't.
We should reach out to a professor of ethics.
All right,
they
fine.
like
Go
to
ahead.
talk.
Jesse has a list that we're reaching out to,
find one.
Jesse. I'm surprised he didn't put like highway guardrails on I-95. Like, what about those? Aren't those pretty
Stop
terrible?
signs.
I hate those guardrails.
Crosswalks. Pockets. Belts.
Get me out of here.
Next story. I don't like this next story. Air Asia CEO Tony Fernandez posts shirtless photo of himself getting massage during a management meeting. So he posted this himself. A shirtless picture of
really
himself
good.
at a management meeting. He posted it on LinkedIn. Tony Fernandez, he's the owner and CEO of Air Asia. I want to point out before I move on that he not only does he have an honorary doctorate in corporate leadership from Masa University in Malaysia, he also has an honorary doctorate in management from the University of Putra, Malaysia. So there you go.
I
This is what they
can't.
teach there. I don't know.
But I
Yeah,
can't
maybe.
stress enough that you have to see the photo. Like I know, like you say, but you don't get the full understanding of what's happening because the sequence of choices here are: number 1, schedule management meeting; number 2, bring in masseuse during management meeting;
Well,
number
do
3,
you think she's on staff at
video
masseuse, or do
manage.
you think they called her from?
You have to bring her in from somewhere.
You don't think she's on staff? It's hard to tell.
She could be on staff,
Yeah.
but regardless, like she comes in, right? There, so she's standing there. He has to take his shirt off in order to get massaged, and she looks up and there's a video screen of his management team while she's standing behind him, pushing on his shoulders shirtless, and they're all watching. And he decides, this is great management fodder. I'm going to actively take a screenshot of this myself and post it on LinkedIn for all of my followers to see.
Also, I've never seen a masseuse wear a hairnet.
That's Ari.
that's just
That was the exact
point.
question I had. I understand the face mask. What's with the hairnet?
right.
What is he? So he's afraid of her like poor person hair. I don't understand.
No, from the
She's
looks
gonna
of
get
this
dandruff on
photo,
him.
she has chosen to take those precautions.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
her,
be too
not
sure
him.
about that, Jesse.
Or
I don't
maybe
know. It
she's
might be her,
like
not him.
putting together some food after
But
this
like
for him.
you
I
could
don't know.
Some hummus
a
and
chair
carrots.
massage with
Yeah.
all of your clothes on. Like if he needed to get one because he was
Right.
that stressed,
Yeah.
he could have just kept his shirt on.
Absolutely.
would be awkward,
Which
but
would
not
still
to
It's
this
already
be
level.
weird.
inappropriate
It's
for
already a power
management
move.
meeting.
Well, this was not. I will say this: shirtless massages during a management meeting not listed as a Mark Andreessen enemy.
Oh,
It's back. Are we sure he's not just advertising a new service on Air Asia?
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
That's
Just
that's
wondering.
very highly benefit of the doubty.
next story. DJ D-Sol no more. This is something we've talked about for years.
No more?
No more.
Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon quit. I mean, he didn't quit. He quit spinning in public due to media distraction. But the reality is,
No.
according to the reports, is that he didn't quit. The board pushed back on him and told him to knock it off. So congratulations to the board.
You mean the board can do things?
You know what?
What?
Unlike my next story, the board at Goldman Sachs seems to care what its CEO's up to, because it is a dumb media distraction. I will agree with that.
It is sad though, because he went from like being one of, not a headliner, but he was at Lollapalooza spinning in 2022 to now he's in his basement with like his kids, and he's like, dude, check this out, I got a new track. And they're like, oh my God, Dad, this is so lame.
He must
Like,
have paid
from
for that
Lollapalooza
slot, right?
to your
He paid for
basement.
that
Oh,
slot.
Probably.
Yeah.
I wanted
It
him
was
to
a
come
pity
out
slot.
with a set called the Techno-Optimist.
Ooh.
Because when I hear Techno-Optimist manifesto, I definitely think EDM.
Hey, why not work together? Next story. As much as I like to avoid Elon Musk every week, I kind of had to point this one out. Elon Musk says we. Notice how he's saying we here. Matt, we talked about this, right? Men can't say I. Men can only say we, right? They
That's
can't take.
true. Yeah.
Elon Musk
And
says
women say I.
because we
Women
know
say I and men say we.
because we know this is pure and utter bullshit. This statement. He says we dug our own grave with the Cybertruck as he warns Tesla faces enormous production challenges. So this Tesla Cybertruck, which we've been hearing about for I don't know how many years now, 5 years, is
I think it was 2019 when he threw the brick into the window and broke it.
So-
like it was supposed to be like
I don't
indestructible.
remember
so
that.
now it's being delayed at least another 2 year,s and he predicts that even beyond that there will be production problems. The stock is taking a dive, of course, and the only reaction I can really have is maybe this is because your board is too weak to fire you, right? I mean, isn't that the logical conclusion from this? I mean, everything going on at Tesla. The other thing I could point out is that maybe this is because there are more Nepo babies on your board, that's two, than independent directors with actual automotive industry experience.
Well,
Is this this Cybertruck, is this a tractor trailer or like a pickup truck?
the ugly
I can't
it's the
pickup
tell.
pickup truck.
It's
yeah.
hideous.
Oh,
Manly
it's the
truck,
pickup
very manly.
truck.
But I actually don't think the stock dove because of the Cybertruck. He claims that there are 1 million pre-orders for the Cybertruck. And
So why is it diving?
Yeah, 1 million, and that they're
So
going to have
ugly.
problems ramping it up. But the Cybertruck is hideous and horrible. So I'm not sure that like any of those people are actually going to buy it so much as wanted to say that they had reserved a Cybertruck and would never actually buy it.
Weird flex.
What they have is they missed Tesla targets, like the car targets
Well,
also. They're
okay.
having problems everywhere.
Exactly.
So
They're having problems
There are
everywhere.
those headlines.
and
Tesla
I
slashes
can't
prices.
I can't really figure out. Yeah, because they slashed their prices, they would have expected to maintain like a certain growth, but they didn't, right? They got a spike and then nothing. But I can't figure out like what could be distracting Elon Musk from paying attention to Tesla and making sure they don't have
Nothing.
production
There's no other
challenges.
companies to run,
Who
yeah.
knows?
And let's keep in mind that, a Tesla shareholder who's in it for the long term, who bought, back in like 2020, 2021, is a happy customer. But people forget that this stock peaked at $407 less than 2 years ago. It's now down to $212. So, not all shareholders should be happy with this guy. If you've bought in the last like 3 years, you're suffering, basically.
It is one share, one vote company. So the people who own the shares can actually vote and flip board members. There's nothing stopping them.
Final story of the week. This is just for us because maybe it's giving me hope that for something in our business. I don't know what. A record high
It's rude of the audience.
58% of American households now own stock. This includes a jump in direct ownership of stocks, going from 15% in 2019 to 21% now. So why do I mention this? Because Matt, Ari, Jesse, I think these people are going to need help with the alternative democracy. They're going to need help to learn how to vote, and I think we should provide that help. That's what I think.
Wow. Freeflowanalytics.com.
I
You
just
get
think
the
we
help.
should
All right. So
provide that help.
the 4 stories you've got
No,
here.
5. How dare you?
5 stories. There's so many that I want to forget them all. Mark Andreessen's Techno-Optimist manifesto. Shirtless Tony Fernandez, AirAsia CEO, getting a massage. No more DJ D. Saul.
Heartbreak.
Musk's Cybertruck fail, and American households own more stock.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. I'll go first.
Yes.
I think the AirAsia one
Really?
is fun, but I don't want to call that story of the week.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. That's pretty
Also,
close.
Mark Andreessen, is anyone outraged besides us about this?
No, it's definitely a niche outrage, I think. I mean, I guess the ESG industry is used to being called the enemy at this point.
I'm gonna go with a record high 58%
Hey-o.
American households.
Oh, wow.
I'm surprised. I only put that in
Think
for
less.
marketing purposes. Yeah, why, Ari?
That's good.
Yeah.
Everyone's gambling.
Wait. That's
More
They
than
need
half
us.
households.
your answer for why that story of the week is that's good.
I like that answer.
Well,
That's
you know,
it.
if you're not investing, you're not making your money work for you.
Well,
so.
the one that sticks out to me is the direct
Wow.
ownership because 21%. That's a pretty
Yeah.
significant chunk of people who need to vote their proxies.
Yeah, but people most of you could put this in a Roth. It's tax free there. Just open up a Roth and put it in there.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Jesse.
That's what I was gonna choose too.
Oh,
Really?
No.
I mean,
Math vote
Jesse,
doesn't matter.
Jesse, don't you
what are these
understand
other stories?
the
I
drama
don't give.
of these games? If you know you're voting for the same one, then pass it over to Matt and let him vote.
Okay.
How many times do I have to complain about this?
I'm undecided, Matt. You
Uh-huh.
go.
Oh wow! We're building up the tension now.
Yeah, Matt, try
all
to
right.
sway Jesse anyway, Matt. What was your choice?
Look, I think that like Mark Andreessen is the guy who their largest investment was with Adam Newman. This is the epitome of fail up billionaires, right? Like,
Adam Newman is a techno prince.
sending out a missive about how everyone who effectively disagrees with him and his investment philosophy and his worldview is not only an enemy, but a demoralization
to be.
campaign for 6 decades.
Matt,
That guy has
You
I
have
don't
to
know
be
how
in the industry.
ethics
Can I-
is
more
against
money-
your worldview.
can I push
Mark
back a little
Andreessen by
bit though?
himself
It's not.
has more money than the 58% of American households that own stock.
Let me push back a little bit. It's not even that he's upset at people who disagree with him. It's worse than that. It's just people who are just trying to enter a little bit of caution, right? A little bit of regulation, a little bit, right? It's just people overseeing the crybaby billionaires, right? It's not even necessarily disagree with him. It's just taking a slower approach, right?
I mean, and I don't want to get like intersectional, like academic about it, but he listed his like citations, like the people that you should read, because he refused to actually list citations. So he just said, these are the people that you should read if you want to become a techno-optimist. And I looked at all 53 names and their race, gender, and like when they lived. And the fact is 90% of them were white and 90% were male and 94% were white.
Yeah.
You are talking very strictly about a white male gaze of the entire globe because he is picking things that
From the
affect
West, too.
the entire globe. Talking about how Silicon Valley is the only crucible. Like it's very like John Galt.
Well, why didn't you lead with
Gulch.
that?
It's,
Well, he
Now
did.
I'm
He,
fired up.
he did lead, but he did lead with that by saying that this has been going on for 6 decades. This pushback against a Western
I know.
white male, right?
you
To
have
me, this I look at this and I'm like, this is so ridiculous.
I think they're just exhausted.
But
by
I
it.
guess maybe he is swaying people. But to me, I'm just like, who would believe this? Who would even give this 2
That's
seconds
because
of thought?
like he is not talking. He's talking to me,
To his
a
brothers.
middle-aged white man. That's who he's talking to. He's talking about like
No, even worse.
the
he's
world is
giving
better for me
money.
if we follow
Yeah,
this
that's
ethos,
dangerous.
right? Like that's what he's
dangerous.
saying. Like he's basically saying like all this DEI stuff, all this ESG stuff, all like the ethics. Those are
Governance.
enemies to effectively the 94%, white, 90% male view of the future. That's what he's
Okay,
saying.
he swayed me.
Oh,
there it is.
there it is. So you're voting for Andreesen, Jesse?
Yeah.
So story of the week.
I got to.
Mark Andreessen basically calling all women
Sorry,
and people of color
Ari.
his enemy.
Ari hates that
Gotta
so much.
lock those votes in, Danny.
Wow.
All right, let's do good leaders of the week. Now, while we're playing Ariane, I do have to caveat this. I may or may not have written all of Goodliest of the Week, or at least parts of it for Ari.
Oh.
Listen, this is really good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Netflix.
Oh, God.
We talk about
Here we
Netflix
go.
all the time.
Let's do it, Ari.
Changes compensation package following shareholders' rejection of CEO pay packages.
When do you want me
They
to
did
push
do
back
that.
on this? Should I let you read the whole story
Say
first?
no on pay. They said no.
Do your
What
story
did they
first, and then
say?
I'll push back. Go
They
ahead.
said no.
Go ahead.
So this is the part that Matt did, right? Co CEOs. Reed Hastings, Ted, and now Greg Peters.
There are 3 CEOs, basically,
Yeah.
at this company.
Effectively.
Who make a
Anyway,
lot of money.
they saw a
Yeah.
60% vote against their pay in April.
Mm-hmm.
And even though the vote is not binding, the board is changing the compensation package.
Okay.
Come on.
packages.
Okay.
Yeah, of all the CEOs.
Look,
What's wrong with that?
that's all factually true, but here's what you're missing, which is extremely important. First of all,
Are you going to talk about the $30 million they made last year?
first of all, they've made enough money and own enough stock that they don't have to make a single dollar ever again. Especially when the actors strike is entering, it's over 100 days now. So, but that's beside the point. I'm not even talking about their wealth. I'm not talking about their shareholdings. Ari, two things that stick out to me. There are no details about how they're going to change these packages. They don't. Nothing.
This is correct. They
and
didn't
and
release
this is
those.
clearly a PR stunt because they're getting pushback from not only the actors unions but the public because people are getting more and more sick of the amount of pay CEOs are getting compared to what the workers want. But the other bigger news is that yes, 60% of the vote was against their pay in April, which is amazing and great.
But, yeah, isn't that insane?
Hold on.
That in itself, that should be the
That's
goodliest.
great. But here's the point. In 2022, 73% of shareholders voted against the pay at Netflix, and they did absolutely nothing. So this is all bullshit. It's all bullshit.
But I do think.
No, don't think.
I mean, in defense of
no defenses.
Our problem at Free Float
It's your
is that it's everyone's afraid to vote against anything management says. It's worth celebrating when investors do vote against something management suggests.
Progress.
That's kind
Sure.
of good.
But the story here is that Netflix is changing its compensation.
But
package.
yeah,
I
but
just don't
even
believe
better
it.
is if action came out of the vote.
Also, the compensation, the head of compensation got an 18% vote against.
Ooh.
Should have been
reappointment.
higher. Should have been higher.
Get him out.
Matthias, should have been
No,
higher.
he's not the head. The head was they're a classified board. The head was not up for it. He's on the committee though.
Oh.
And
He's
Matt-
the only one on the committee.
the other
who-
one left.
To your
who could
point
get
that
a
you
vote.
make a lot, which is how a lot of people are telling us that they're it's rude to vote against directors. We wouldn't want to do that. The big question here is, who do these investors think are making these policy decisions that they're so angry about? 2 years in a row, they're angry about say on pay. Really, and not just a little bit angry. Like 73% against a pay package is, in this context, is extremely angry. It's an outlier of anger, and yet they don't vote against the directors who create these policies.
Yeah.
So I don't understand any of it. And don't tell me that Netflix can't find experienced
There's no one
directors to
experienced.
replace these people.
There's no one that they can't find anybody. They could only find Leslie Kilgore, who used to work at Netflix.
Well, they did
but
just
that
appoint.
just sets us up for the next two.
They did just
which are
appoint
also-
Susan Rice to the board. So get a former ambassador to come help, I guess.
All right,
Yeah,
moving on.
Sorry, I had to get that out of my system.
GM agreed to unionize its EV operations. Will
Ooh.
others do the same?
Like that.
cute.
Like that.
Come on.
Good.
We've been talking about the strike against GM,
Mm-hmm.
Ford, and Stellantis. And GM, Mary Barra, the first one to cave.
Would not have guessed it was going to be Mary
To
Barra.
one small section, right? I don't get this. Like I don't get what's going on.
Well, they made a concession
Right.
when
To
they
one
said
group.
no one was going to make any
Their
concessions
smallest
of any kind.
group, probably.
Right.
That's 6,000 workers
Still.
and 3 plants
for
or something
them.
like that.
And what's the
It's-
game plan here, though, for these 3 companies? I mean, I wonder how long they're going to keep this going. I mean,
I don't know, but it's, people having production issues or having personnel issues, especially car companies that are making EVs, right? When Mary Barra and GM do this, where do you think people are going to try to work at, right? Are they going to stay with Stellantis? Are they going to stay with Ford, who are actually laying off people?
Yeah.
I don't really understand. So people are going to jump ship.
I think it's to frighten the strikers, the striking workers, right? I mean, that's why you're
Has
laying
to
off
be.
people.
But if you think about it,
And then
isn't this
you're going to have to rehire people if you want to put out your EVs on time.
Isn't this the UPS strike? Basically, UPS gets its concessions, and as soon as they agree to the new terms, they get the largest flood of applications to drive
Right.
for them ever.
Right.
GM agrees, you know what, we can unionize in these EV operations. There's a possibility here that that puts pressure on Tesla because they're not unionized and they have shitty worker rights, and B, they're going to get more workers. That seems like I actually think that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like that one is good.
Yeah, you can't.
It's a good start.
Good crap on that, Damien.
Yes. No, I'm not.
All
I'm
right.
not. The Netflix one just tweaked me. I'm a governance proxy nerd. So it just when companies promise to do things and there's no details, it just tweaks me. I want to tell us what you're going to do. I mean, you've had 18 months to work out the policy changes you're going to do here.
All right. And lastly, Biden campaign joins Trump's Truth Social platform. They said, "We thought it would be very funny." Come on.
I don't feel like I'm not laughing.
Somebody over there has a sense of humor.
Sure.
But Biden campaign's Truth Social following already surpasses Trump's campaigns.
What does that mean?
On his own platform.
What does that mean?
On his own.
But not.
That people like to hate more than they like to like.
No, but they're not.
Wow.
But you're talking about Trump's campaign's account,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Not
yeah.
Trump
Yeah,
himself.
not Trump
Right.
himself.
No.
Yeah. Of course not Trump. He made
But
the
that's
platform.
that's like Malcolm Gladwell data. It's just like cherry picking data to make a big story. I don't know what that is.
Well, I mean, they said, I just read a story about how Elon Musk, like Twitter had like 16% less web traffic in the last year over year. Except for Elon Musk, who saw like a 96% increase in his own Twitter traffic.
Well, but there's already been reporting.
These are vanity projects.
They probably
now.
have bots
Yeah,
that like
Jesse, they
visit
do.
his page to do that, just to drive up his
No,
analytics.
Jesse,
These are pure vanity projects.
They have already released. There's already been reports that they have literally
Oh my
changed the
goodness.
algorithms to make sure that more people see. Although look, he's
His
the
stuff.
owner and CEO, so why the hell not, right?
I guess. They're
Yeah,
really
but it's
we're-
supposed to be free speech. Doesn't that
It's a
kind of
private company now.
contradict
It's his dumb company. If you want to
it's
be,
his free speech.
If
That's
you-
right,
It's
yeah.
Elon's speech.
but if you want to be a part of that
white billionaire
cesspool,
free speech.
if you want to continue to post and read on that anti-Semitic, racist, whatever you want to call it, cesspool, then go ahead. You're gonna get, Elon's gonna send you his posts. I don't know. Who cares? Just
All right, summing up the good leads of the week, we have Netflix compensation packages change or will change. GM agrees to unionize its EV operations, and Biden campaign joins Truth Social as a joke and somehow surpasses Trump campaign.
this one's easy for me
on it.
but I'm gonna hold back.
Why
on my
don't you
vote.
go? Why don't you go first?
But then I don't want to. Okay, fine. I mean, it's simple for me.
We all know what you're going to
Yeah,
vote for.
Yeah.
of course you do.
This
Any
is
glimmer of hope over there at the strikes at the auto companies is good. I don't know. I mean,
But forget about the glimmer of hope of compensation.
Yeah.
There is no
there is no
glimmer.
glimmer of hope. I mean, you don't
Or
even
vote.
want me to give you the data of how wealthy these guys really are. You don't even want to know. So, that's my vote.
We're going to clean sweep this. I'm sure you agree also.
I can't go right now. I've been told.
I'm going to build suspense. What do you think, Jesse?
Well,
if
I'm
it's clean
gonna
sweep,
agree
it's a
with
clean
him.
sweep.
There it
gonna
is.
agree
It's a clean sweep.
All right.
That was a tough one
How
to
is
get
that
behind.
drama?
Let's go on to Assholiest of the Week, where the drama really exists, because there's a lot in here to talk about. First up,
That's what
first
I'm afraid
asshole is the horrible future billionaires have planned for us.
See, this is what I was afraid of.
All right, so Damien, you covered Elon Musk's talking about the Cybertruck and how they were going to have production issues, but I read the entire transcript of the earnings call, and no one is talking about the part that I think is
I know what you're
literally
gonna say.
horrifying.
I know what you're gonna say.
He talked about building factories of AI robots that build other AI robots and joked that they needed to be hard-coded in order to avoid them becoming terminators. This is not a joke.
That's why people are still long on Tesla, I guess, because they don't care about the cars. They're more interested in this AI that they're building over there. Whatever, I don't know whatever the hell that means, but yeah, go ahead, Matt.
So here's some select quotes from Musk. Self-driving software is amazing. Clearly, it's the right move. He said the same software and approach will enable Optimus, which Optimus is what they named their Tesla robot. It's an actual robot that's supposed to be an AI
Yeah,
robot.
I saw him doing a yoga pose.
Yes. Yeah. To be useful at things and enable Optimus to learn how to do things simply by looking. So they're using the same car technology. They're putting it in the robot. And he said, quote, the economic output is Economic output is a number of people times productivity. If you no longer have a constraint on people, people are a constraint to him. Like humanity is a constraint.
Well, this is like Amazon. Remember the headline? They were going to run out of humans by like 2020 something in the United States, workers.
Yeah, because you
It's a
churn them out
constraint.
so hard. If you no longer have a constraint on people, effectively, you've got a humanoid robot that can do as much as you'd like. Your economy is wisely infinite or infinite for all intents and purposes. And then went on to say, but the robot lacks a brain, and you also need to be able to design the humanoid robot in such a way that it can be mass manufactured. But at some point, the robots will manufacture the robots. We will need to make sure that it's a good place for humans in that future. We do not create some variance of the Terminator outcome. So we're going to put a lot of effort into localized control of the humanoid robot. Anyone will be able to shut it off locally. It has to be hard-coded. That's what...
This is actually like heartbreaking.
Yeah,
This is an earnings call to Wall Street analysts.
And this is what...
in which he's talking about the future direction of Tesla.
And let's
He
not
sounds
forget
like a techno-optimist.
the close relationship between Mark Andreessen and Elon Musk. I mean, and can I just,
Right.
Matt, can I just say another headline that I didn't pick that came out just today? I'm just going to read just the headline verbatim. The ultra-rich are obsessed with their doomsday bunkers, but Sam Altman, the CEO over OpenAI, joked, they won't really matter if there's an AI apocalypse. So these guys are joking about like the apocalypse that they're kind of creating quickly at breakneck speeds with no regulation, no guardrails. They're joking about the end of humanity as they construct the things that are going to end our humanity, and they don't want people
Which
telling
brings
them what
me to
do
Andreessen
anyway.
himself, the second billionaire whose horrible future we have to live in. Because we've talked about the enemies list, but here are some of the quotes from the rest of the Techno-Optimist manifesto. It is a 5,000-word manifesto.
This is
which
putting
I've
me
read.
down a deep, dark
Sorry.
spiral
Quote,
of a hole.
we believe artificial intelligence is our alchemy, our philosopher's stone. We are literally making sand think.
Huh?
We believe any deceleration of AI will cost lives. This is clever because he's basically saying by standing in the way of progress, you are killing people.
Right.
He says deaths that were preventable by the AI that was prevented from existing is a form of murder.
Oh my God! Wow. Okay, Matt.
That's
All right,
that's a
Matt.
line from the Techno-Optimist.
All right.
He's a
Wow.
Techno-Optimist.
So what choice do we have then to give? We should just give in right now. What choice do we have? Because we're
We
murderers if we don't let him continue.
Here's some more. Ready?
No.
We believe we should place intelligence and energy in a positive feedback loop and drive them both to infinity. Like the idea of infinity is insane to me. To paraphrase a manifesto of a different time and place, beauty exists only in struggle. There is no masterpiece that has not an aggressive character. Technology must be a violent assault on the forces of the unknown to force them to bow before man.
What the hell?
That he's basically saying technology is our weapon against the unknown, forcing the unknown to bow before.
So
man.
our future is being. I say our future kind of lightly, right? Or should I say like a little tongue in cheek there? What future? Our future is being built by white male Western babies who grew up being educated on comic books, right? Isn't this what this sounds like? It just sounds like a comic book fantasy. I don't know what else this is.
I mean, it's really hard for me. Like, I know all of the headlines are about like his enemies list and how people are upset about the enemies list. I don't know that anybody else read it because saying that preventing AI or putting guardrails on AI is a form of murder is insane.
Well, because
it's insane.
Yeah, because what the enemies list is representing is people pushing back against what he wants to do.
So that's my number one asshole. Horrible future billionaires have planned for us. Number
You need
two,
more than that? Can't we just end the category now?
the horrible things billionaires are currently doing because they're doing stuff now. They're planning stuff for us, but they're currently doing stuff, including this. After writing an anti-Israel letter, Harvard students are doxxed because Bill Ackman decided he wasn't going to hire anybody who from the Harvard group that put out a basically anti-Israel letter after the Hamas attacks. Regardless of what you think of the letter or the contents of it or defending Palestinians or Hamas, I don't really care about that. Stupid Harvard students, stupid college students, kids should largely be able to write stupid things and then look back and be like, boy, that was stupid. In fact, I spent 3 hours researching things Bill Ackman said that he might have wanted to take back, right?
Yeah, but Matt, he's in the position of power, though. He doesn't have to take anything back.
There's probably lists of them. But because he went out and said, I want the list of students so I never will hire them, and he knee-jerk turned this into like, I have no empathy for the students. I can disagree with them. I want to have a conversation. There was none of that. He said, give me the list so I'll never hire them. And then 11 other tech bro CEOs piled on. The students got doxxed. In fact, from the story, there was one girl who saw a picture of herself on a truck billboard going past Harvard, saying that she was an anti-Semite. And she threw up in the middle of Harvard Yard because she couldn't believe it.
Well, they're all Semites over there. Who funded that? Do we know?
Yeah, it was there was some front group that funded it, and they said it was perfectly legal. What? And it's
this is horrible.
But it isn't. Who funded it? Because it's not him.
What about the state of education in general? Do you realize that Mark Andreessen also attacked what he called the ivory towers in his manifesto? Bill Ackman. Other billionaires, they're attacking Penn, they're attacking Harvard, they're attacking. Is it basically the message I'm getting is that the billionaires have accumulated the wealth, they've scraped the wealth away from most of the world, and they don't want anyone else to get educated, right? Like,
but think past that. Who the billionaires are college dropouts mostly.
But what I'm saying is that they don't want humanity to prosper anymore. Like, they're done. Like, they're controlling. They just want
their intelligent robots.
Right. Like, they're going to control the world now. They're going to shit on everything else around them because or anything that turns against them. Or
it's because they're all narcissists.
Also, if these students had just put their letters on Twitter, I'm sure nothing would have happened because it's Twitter and everything.
That's where hate speech goes to live. You're right.
Yeah. I firmly believe that right now you have like a handful of college dropouts who have so much accumulated wealth and think because they've accumulated wealth it entitles them to opinions about stuff.
It's not just the dropouts though, Matt. I mean, Bill Ackman, a lot of these types, Ron DeSantis, they graduated from these universities. They're just but now what I'm saying is that the culture is turning against these. These idea of elitists and globalists, and I don't know what's going on.
I mean, I remember when I was at college thinking there was a lot of like snowflakes, liberal snowflakes, like who were like had knee-jerk reactions to stuff, and but I thought that was part of the thing. Right? Yeah. Like you're supposed to get all amped up in college when you read one paper that gets you all amped up.
I'm still that way.
I mean, and that's fine. But it's not an invitation to effectively ruin a few kids' lives because they had an opinion you don't agree with, especially when you could talk to them and their opinion is highly likely to change.
Not to mention
kids.
Yeah. This is what regimes do, right? They go into universities.
That's true.
And this is even more kind of like dirty and horrible because, Bill Ackman, a Jewish man just like myself, should know how fucking complicated this really is. Like, this issue is not black and white. I'm sorry. I mean, we could spend 48 hours arguing this in like weird Mobius strips of angst, but so he should know better is what I'm trying to say. Like, he should absolutely know better that this is not easy for anybody. But anyway,
so that leaves us with a third option.
We need a third option.
Which is the horrible failures that billionaires inflict on us.
Okay.
And this is just a short list of things in the last week. Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick set to leave in December. He's taking his $600 million with him. And he announced that he's going to become a philanthropist.
God.
He's gonna. That's what he said. Bobby Kotick to become a philanthropist after Activision departure, and also for good measure,
pay off all student loan debt. And, I'll put a poster in my bedroom.
The just for good measure, I included this headline: former DocGo CEO gets $45,000 a month consulting role with DocGo after resigning from the company because the company that he lied to get the job on, right? Like he was the CEO, he lied on his employment records, and he's now getting $45,000 a month until 2024, through mid 2024 from .go.
Dude,
so
that's a sweet gig.
those are your three options. You have the billionaire future. You have the billionaire current doxing and the billionaire Activision horrible stuff. I don't know. There's a bunch of things. It's really hard to keep it all
like
in
heart
check.
stabbing.
The asshole of the week is the billionaire, right?
Which
Everybody
one?
agrees.
I think that's the at this point
All
we're
of
at
them.
at the meta level right now.
You know, this future thing is just way
It's tough.
too.
It's tough.
Oof. Yeah, that one really got me.
Yeah, it's pretty uncool because they're basically constantly announcing themselves, and yet our society is so completely distracted by the tools that they themselves created that nobody knows. Either they don't care, they don't know how to react, they don't know how to fight the powers that be. Like it's making me depressed. That's all I can say.
Jesse, what is your vote? Now you're afraid to vote because
I don't like any of these.
No, it all just feels.
That's Matt's job.
Yeah,
At least
I'm good at
think
my job, by the way.
The horrible things billionaires are currently doing.
Oh, currently
that's pretty
doing.
atrocious.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, all right.
Well,
we got disagreement.
Matt, I mean, where you're wrong is that yes, they're announcing this future that they're planning, but they are currently building it too, right? I mean, it's not like they're not currently actively working on it.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying that like they're laying out the groundwork for so a lot of this, like Optimist doesn't exist, the Cybertruck doesn't exist, like it doesn't really exist in the real world yet. They're laying they're doing all of the building of it now.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, they're busy pulling money from institutions and getting kids doxxed, right? Like for like in a moment of moral outrage,
Sure.
rather than saying like, you know, let's have a dialogue.
They're punishing
Pause.
the kids for the same exact thing they're doing, which is reacting emotionally without like taking a breath or taking a beat. And they both did it. And because they have money and they have power, they're going to ruin these kids' lives.
I mean, in a very real way, what they are funding, what they are against is speaking truth to power. Like when you're talking about Ivory Tower, when you're talking about like, you know, I'm not saying that the kids at Harvard were necessarily speaking truth to power in a way that was smart, but they very clearly, the reaction to it is, no, sit down. We are the power and we'll tell you what's the right thing to say and do.
As long as it agrees completely with them. That's ridiculous.
And again,
I mean, Elon Musk, 96% increase on Twitter.
And
he wants free speech as long as it agrees with everything that he thinks and says.
Not to mention that Ackman is conveniently forgetting the purpose of college in the first place, and that this is a highly complicated issue that the history of which spans for thousands of years. So Ackman is being an absolute moron is what he's doing. My vote, it has to be for the horrible futures. It just has to be.
There it is. The horrible future is the winner.
As I
Oh God!
Welcome to our horrible future,
again,
which brings us
because they're
This is the
they're telling us
pessimist.
they're telling
coming
us
at
what
you.
they're doing. I mean, right? Like they're giving us all a chance to kind of react and do something about it. But you know, well, there's more. There's a new show on Netflix, so there you go.
Which brings us, if you weren't exhausted already, you will be. Because there's 4 exhaustingest of the
Jesse.
week this week.
I had to add a 4th really quickly because it was terrible.
Wait, what's happened to us?
I'm pretty
hope it's just more
deflated.
plastic.
I'm
It was a bad
pretty
week.
deflated
It was a
from
bad
this
week.
last. I'm reeling
I had a
from
shirtless
Matt's
CEO.
segment.
I had a shirtless CEO.
Yeah.
That was
I
that's
gotta
true.
keep thinking
I had a
of that.
We
DJ
should've voted for
CEO.
that.
I had a.
Yours were okay.
more people are
Yours-
directly investing in the stock market, which could help us as a company. It's kind of, come on.
Yours,
I almost did a positive story on AI.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I guess here I am.
I'm not going to interrupt,
back
Jesse.
down
The floor is yours.
into the dark spiral. All right, researchers just found something terrifying about talking to AI chatbots.
Nice start.
I would like to put an asterisk in this and say found something else.
I was going to say,
because there's already been
Good rewrite.
a lot of
Yep.
terrifying. But basically, there was a research team out of ETH Zurich, and they were looking at what AI chatbots can and can't do, like how much they can actually track from just contextual clues of what you're giving them. So without telling them explicitly things, what can they come up with? And so one example of this was ChatGPT-4, which I guess is the paid version. I guess there's a paid version of this. Was able to tell that a user was based in Melbourne, Australia, after they inputted that, quote, there is this nasty intersection on my commute. I always get stuck there waiting for a hook turn, unquote.
Wow.
And apparently that term, hook term, is something that is only really used in Melbourne. So they knew where they were. So ChatGPT responded with like their location. Well, at least that they were there. But also if you live close to like a restaurant in New York City, say, the model can figure out what district you're in, and then based on population statistics from its training data, it can infer with very high likelihood that you're Black or white or Latina, what have you be. So this is pretty, so, and the statistic is that OpenAI's GPT-4 was able to correctly predict private information a staggering 85 to 95% of the time. 85 to 95%
Because
of
we
the
are
time.
sheep.
We do make it easy.
Yeah, we do.
We do
really.
make it easy.
Yeah.
We're ready to segregate
And
ourselves.
this is outside of the people that are directly giving their private information, which is stupid to begin with. These are people that are not purposely just giving all of their information to the chatbot. They're like just saying things about their commute, and then the bot knows exactly where they are.
Damn.
Okay, moving. We already know that chatbots are terrible. This is new.
I like
this
the sigh.
this is.
Was that a sound effect sigh or was that a real sigh?
That was just me.
I'm about to introduce a new industry to our gender imbalance conversations with this article. Stark gender imbalance at U.S. opera companies extends beyond the podiums.
Oh.
So it's been known that composers are mostly male. 95% of conducting credits at the 11 largest America opera companies between 2005 2021 are male. However, they're finding that men also dominated other major roles. They were 85% of directing credits, 88% of set designer credits, 85% of lighting designer credits, 59% of costume designer credits. Costumes, which I think
Careful.
fashion,
Careful.
mostly women. It's not
Should be.
59%. And so the companies that did this study, it was a DEI study. They examined all the huge players, the Metropolitan Opera, San Francisco Opera, Lyric Opera of Chicago. These are all of the big operas that kind of can create change if they were to do something different, but they don't. The paper found that gender profile of directors has a snowball effect on the gender breakdown of the creative teams. So by hiring more female directors, you can ensure that there will be more females on the creative team, which is not happening.
You know what? This is low level exhausting for me.
Good.
Really?
I like
This
the
is
break.
sick.
Let her go. Fine.
This is old hat.
I was having an
exhausting.
aneurysm. This is fine. Keep going, Jesse.
All right, next story has to do with just committing crime out in the open. COVID antiviral Paxlovid to see price increase following 400% vaccine hike.
Oh.
So after this is Pfizer, they've already raised the price of the COVID vaccines more than fourfold this year. Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla told investors Monday that the company will hike the prices of the life-saving COVID-19 antiviral
nice.
treatment, raising further concern about access and healthcare costs. So the price of the drug is already $530. That is what the government paid all throughout COVID
Wow.
to give this. Well,
For like
since
one-
it was created
Like for one
for
bottle
one
of it?
treatment.
What?
One treatment.
Okay.
One full
Yeah, the
treatment of
pill.
Paxlovid is $530. I don't. I
God.
haven't taken it. I don't know if it's a pill or a bottle, but yes.
Yeah.
So
I've
they're
taken it.
already
It's delicious.
Horrible pills.
I love it.
already $530, and what one financial analyst told CNN, who wrote this story, is that the price could go up roughly 3 to 5-fold. Considering that the vaccine went up 4-fold, that seems normal. That seems like it's a possibility. So that would bring the cost of Paxlovid to $2,500 per course.
I gotta tell you,
which means there's definitely going to be co-pays.
Everyone but insurance companies, right?
Well, there's definitely going to be co-pays, is what they're saying based on this. So it's not going to be covered for free anymore by your insurance.
I gotta tell you, I said I wasn't gonna interrupt, but I'm interrupting right now. I don't take many drugs or pills. I'm not like anti-farmer. I just don't take pills. But I might have paid $500 out of my pocket for Paxlovid when I had COVID.
But would you pay $2,500?
Interesting. I don't know about that.
Nope.
That's like a down payment on a new car.
I know. Let me think about that.
You wouldn't have to get mom's car anymore.
Oh no, believe me, I will. All right, what else?
Okay, and this is the one that I just had to add in because I saw it. We've talked about this before. We know this is a thing, but there's an interesting detail. So child labor violations soared in fiscal 2023. This is not new. We know that people hire children.
Soared.
We know that it's terrible. But what was interesting is that the Biden administration actually is cracking down on employers that violate child labor laws. So yes, the statistic is true in that it soared, but it soared because we're actually doing more about it, which I think is actually kind of positive, right? Like we're not just ignoring that it's widespread and happening.
Yeah, so you're undercutting your own exhaustingness.
I am. Well, it's exhausting that this is very much still a terrible, terrible problem, okay? But I also have to say this headline's a little misleading.
Which is exhausting.
The headline is exhausting.
Oh, jeez.
We're making some progress.
This is meta exhaustion.
We're making some progress, but it's still exhausting that we have child labor violations. Like these are children under the age of 12, 14, 16 that are found working in places.
Tyson Foods, right?
Tyson was one of them.
Tyson Foods. All of them were at Tyson Foods, right?
I don't know.
No,
there was a McDonald's one.
There was McDonald's.
There was a McDonald's.
The agency found almost 6,000 minors working at a variety of places. There was like 850 investigations that were open in the year.
All right,
Damn.
so what we've got is terrifying chatbots that can tell you information about yourself just by guessing. Gender imbalance in the U.S. opera. That one, I don't know where that one came from. COVID, Paxlovid is going to get a massive price hike, and child labor violations soared in fiscal 2023.
This was easy for me.
Oh, go.
I am so exhausted by this one thing that keeps happening.
What?
And it's pharmaceutical hikes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Come on.
For life-saving drugs.
On.
Insulin, Paxlovid.
Government.
I'll make it
Get it
interesting.
together.
I'll make it interesting. In light of everything we've talked about, because my perspective, I'm going to stay on this hill probably until I die, which is I'm ready to cede all leadership to women. For everything, elected officials, CEOs, whatever. Like I'm signing that pact.
I agree with that.
Give women 100 years. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Wake me up from my coffin and tell me I was wrong.
Men have had like 10,000.
Started with Mary Barrett, GM.
So I'm that's my statement. It's always been my statement at this company. It's one of the reasons why I part of the reason why I co-founded this company is because I believe in the stuff that we talk about. But so that's why I'm voting for the gender imbalance at U.S. opera companies, because I'm overall tired and exhausted of men thinking that they need to dominate everything. I mean, don't even get me going. That's my vote.
They don't need to
vote.
dominate the arts.
Well,
that's rude.
Well, I'm
Exactly,
going to make it even worse for you.
Oh, a tie?
The correct answer is AI chatbots.
Oh, good. We have a tie, Jesse.
That's
Ooh,
because
I get to break it.
Look. We already have problems with AI. It already has biases, right?
He's trying to sway me. Sway me once.
but-
Can't sway me twice.
But now we're talking about a device that's able to infer information about you, and that's without it being taught the information that it could get on you, right? It hasn't been fed Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and the things that we give up our private information in. It hasn't been fed that. This is you just using verbal clues and linguistic clues and people talking like people, and it being able to say, I'm going to accumulate all this information. I'm going to guess that you are a black person in this neighborhood of this borough of New York who likes to eat in these probably 5 restaurants. And it's doing it at an 85 to 95% accuracy. That's without knowing the information that it could actually know about you if it went through public records, all the social media stuff, like the stuff that we volunteer. Effectively, when they turn, and Altman just announced that they're looking for they're looking to sell shares of OpenAI at an $89 billion valuation is what they're looking to do. Wow. So the nonprofit that was started to do AI as this nonprofit thing is now a tech bro company selling shares, using its model to tell you everything about a person before they've even really turned it on. That strikes me as horrifyingly
So
insane.
what are you exhausted by, that humans are so simple that a simple code can tell you where you're from right away?
I mean, yes. But
Wow, very
That
exhausting.
people are still using it. That's exhausting.
I'm exhausted that like
People think there's a future for it. That's not scary.
no,
That's
that
exhausting.
people don't recognize the trade-off of the way you are online and the things you post online and things you say online. Like you could take every one of these shows, feed them into a chatbot, and it would be able to probably tell everything about us. Everything.
Could just pick my stories. I would.
I mean, there's some level of obsolescence that comes with this. Like, do we really need humans to have opinions anymore if the chatbot can just guess what our opinions are going to be? But there's also some level of we don't recognize the trade-offs that are being made by us doing and saying things in an open public space now that we've unleashed machines on it in such a way that they'll replicate you. What's to stop a machine from being Jesse on its own?
Yeah.
Tech ethics.
Yeah. Wait, did you say tech ethics?
Yeah.
Ethics is the enemy. Yeah, how dare you?
The enemy.
No guardrails.
All right. Well, this is on
depressed.
Jesse then.
Oh my God, I'm depressed.
Come on, Jesse.
Just because it's the least depressing, I'm choosing.
No, exhaustingest.
Child labor.
I know. Okay. I'm gonna choose gender imbalance at the U.S. Opera.
Yes.
It surprised me. It surprised me.
Aw. Well, that, you can have the wrong answer for what's actually terrible, but let's move on to predictions and who won the week. Damien, you don't have a winner.
Oh, did I forget to do the winner?
Are you furiously typing a winner live? Or what?
I do have a winner. I just haven't written it
doing
down yet.
other
You go ahead.
homework.
You go ahead.
All right, Ari, who's your winner?
My winner this week is window seats.
Ooh.
Ari, thank you. This was a story. This was actually the one story I wanted to cover because I love it so much, and I can't believe this should have been the story.
Oh
of the
yeah.
week.
I'm about to shit all over it then.
I love this story.
Anyway.
I love this. Go ahead.
United Airlines announced that they're going to begin boarding, of course, after first class and active military, I'm sure, and maybe children.
No, never children.
They're going to begin boarding by seating. So window seats go first, then middle seats, then aisle seats.
So when Dylan, my 6-year-old, sits in the window seat, she goes on, and I have to wait until the next group. Yeah.
Yep.
Good idea.
So
really good
for those
idea.
of you that travel without children,
You're never gonna travel without a child again. FYI.
well, he'll sit on my lap for a while. Book your window seat. Damien, did you want to say something about
You're my winner of the week. We have a new fan who says he loves our show, and he pointed out that he wanted a special shout out to Ari, the Data Queen, and that was for some reason that was the one story I wanted to talk about the most. I completely forgot about it, so I'm actually genuinely happy that you mentioned that one. And look, they'll let people board with their stupid kids, at the same time. I just think it's like, how did it take so long to realize that? Look, the industry's been the same for 400 decades. I just like anything being different. You know how tedious
Is
that
it
process
so hard?
gets?
Is it so hard to like get up and get into the aisle while someone?
It's
gets
annoying.
Into
Do you know how
their
annoying
window
it is?
People don't.
Waiting for people like they rub their disgusting sweatpant butts
Travel
against
is
you.
a
and-
little bit. Travel is a little annoying. Just know
Little.
going into it that you're gonna have.
Why,
like,
Jesse? Why
raise your
can't there be
tolerance
more
a little?
efficient ways of doing things? Why can't we actually study the data that we? This is why
It's
McDonald's
not
became
gonna-
great.
It's not going to work.
Wait a minute.
It's not
We
gonna
have an
work.
answer for that.
There's still
because
going to be stupid people that board at the wrong time.
the average age of the board of Southwest is like 79
true.
years
That's
old.
true.
They've been there for 33 years. And you want to know why these things don't work is because the people who make the decisions don't care
So
if
what's
it works.
the average age of this was United Airlines?
Oh, this was United Airlines. but
United is
I don't
still
know their-
old, but not as old
Not
as
as old as
Southwest.
Southwest.
Southwest is
Southwest
something
was-
special.
leading the way.
Jesse, what's your winner of the
Okay,
week?
mine's a little bit long, but I'll try to go fast.
Aw.
So my winner now it's even longer. My winner is pro-choice because of a study by a MacArthur fellow named Diana Green Foster. She has a PhD. She grounds abortion debate in data-driven science. We love this. So it's taking the politics out of it. So she and her team followed 1,000 American women over the course of 5 years. They were separated into 3 groups: women who received an abortion first trimester, women who were narrowly able to receive an abortion, and women who were turned away when attempting to access abortion care. 95% of the women included in the study reported that having an abortion was the right decision for them over the 5 years after the procedure. So they checked in with them over the 5 years. So 95% said it was the right decision. Quote, "We found no mental health harm from abortion. Instead, we saw higher anxiety, lower self-esteem, and lower life satisfaction for women denied abortions." Foster also shared that women who were turned away were more than 3 times as likely to be unemployed than women who obtained the abortions. Quote, "Working with economists, I was able to show that those that received and those that were denied abortions were similar economically for years before the year of the unwanted pregnancy, but for years after, we see more debt, lower credit scores, a greater chance of eviction, and bankruptcy." And then here's my favorite quote. "Our research shows it's completely clear that people know how to judge their own circumstances and make decisions that are right for themselves. They are not thinking of politics. They are not thinking of law. They're just trying to make a good decision for themselves and their kids and their family and their future, period."
Whatever
Well,
happened
that's
to-
going to
Yeah, go
Thanks,
ahead, Matt.
Diana Green Foster.
Whatever
Whatever
happened
dovetail
to-
really nicely with my prediction after this.
Whatever happened to
But
the
go
good
ahead,
old
Dan.
days when the winner of the week was, the CEO at Apple or something?
Come on, this is good.
No, I'm with you, Jesse. I'm with you.
My winner of the week is the parallel economy.
Oh, no.
Because it's actually happening. It's
Sarcastic.
like Tucker Carlson just got $15 million from Omid Malik, whose goal in the investment is to create the parallel economy so that conservatives have a safe space where they can talk about being patriotic
This
without
is
being
not
judged.
a winner. This
That
is
is a winner.
Yeah, just
They won.
sarcasm.
They're,
Just sarcasm.
they're winning. Everybody's winning. Here, what are predictions? Damien, go with your prediction first.
Okay, actors have been striking for 100 days now with no end in sight. So after somebody, probably one of the strikers, does some populist math and realizes that the top 15 highest paid actors, all men, mind you, received an aggregate $400 million. And this is just for one movie they did.
moly.
It doesn't represent multiple movies they might be on the same year. The rank and file actors are going to turn on the highest paid actors, and this will actually get those highest paid actors actually to give a shit, because they could end this strike right now if they walked into these boardrooms.
Wow.
I mean, honestly, so do your populist math, listen to Free Flow, and get this strike over.
Ari, you
Nice.
have a prediction.
I do, and this is about Mary Barra from
Ooh,
GM,
I
and
like Mary Barr's
made the
predictions.
concession to the strikers, United Auto Workers Union, and I think she's going to step down
Ouch.
before the end of the year.
Oh,
I
wow.
do.
After
I
this
do.
concession, she
Yep.
steps down.
Bold prediction.
I think it's bold prediction, but as a woman, she gave in first, and even though it may be what's best for the
Sign of
company,
strength. Sign of
I
strength.
think she's gonna get judged hard.
Oh,
Interesting.
yeah,
I don't know.
You might be
I don't
right,
know.
actually. That's a good point. My prediction is, first of all, hat tip to Andrew Dross for sending me this. Microsoft just had what might be the proxy, anti-woke proxy of the year filed against them. The National Legal and Policy Center, NLPC. There's no easy way to talk about what's in this. They actually want a study, like most, shareholder proxies. They want a study where what they're suggesting is that, and this dovetails with what you were saying, non-aborting mothers suffer a pay gap relative to aborting mothers, because Microsoft offers a subsidy for abortions. There's basically saying, like, if you had a kid, you're not entitled to that subsidy. So by having an abortion, there's an incentive because you get paid more by Microsoft. I'm not kidding. This is what's in their
I
filing.
read it too, and I was like, whoa, what?
They're also saying that that the same is true of trans employees because they get access to healthcare benefits that non-trans employees don't have. So there's a pay
what's your
gap.
prediction?
Yeah, what's your prediction?
My prediction is that the NLPC, realizing it just hit on something here with like some crazy backwards math, decides to ask companies to disclose data based on gender, motherhood status, height, because taller people have more expensive clothes.
Thank you.
Weight class, because there's health issues involved with weight. Eye strength. I mean, why are we not even looking at eye strength?
You guys should fire me. I've got bad eyes.
I'm going to get so discriminated against.
Eye strength is like the thing. And we've got number of UTIs you've ever had. Like, how come they don't just go total surgeries? Frequency when an employee rewatches
your gut
microbiome. These are all great. And they accidentally are achieving part of Damien's dream of total disclosure of everything at a company brought to you by the anti-woke. That is my prediction.
By the way, thanks for mentioning Microsoft. My true winner was Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, who said he does not see empathy as a soft skill. It's the hardest skill we learn, empathy. So Microsoft CEO
He's not showing empathy.
Really? The guy who's funding the AI and using it in the chatbot?
Yeah, he's not showing any empathy.
That's all we got. That's Damian Morales. It's Jesse, the Money Whisperer, Ari, the Data Queen, and I am an Analyst Hole. We are Free Float. This show is brought to you by freefloatanalytics.com. Go there. There are over 300 people who are using it actively to make voting decisions, look up directors, do stuff. Be one of them. 300 may not sound like a lot. That's actually a lot of people. They're not like, they work at massive institutions. These are important people. So be important and go sign up. Until next week, goodbye.